Hello, and welcome to tonight's Bruin Family Insights virtual discussion, brought to you by UCLA Parent and Family Programs. Throughout the academic year, we engage around a variety of topics and issues intended to help you best support your student. My name is Leanne Kowiak, and I'm from Tampa, Florida. My daughter is a second-year student at UCLA, and I am also a member of the UCLA Parents Council leadership team. Tonight's conversation with our panelists is the first in a two-part series focusing on career and professional development. This installment will focus on the many summer development opportunities available to your student, while our April discussion will highlight the career readiness and networking resources available through the Alumni Association to both you and your Bruin. This evening, I am so excited to have with us our panel of guests. We have Angie Platt, Travel Study Program Coordinator for UCLA International Education. In addition, we have Karina Salazar, Associate Director of Career Education and Engagement with the UCLA Career Center, and Lola Engel, Manager of Student Affairs for UCLA Summer Sessions. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Angie, can you please start us off by telling us a little bit about yourself and your current role?
Sure. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Angie Platt, and as mentioned, I'm a travel study program coordinator in UCLA's International Education Office. I'm originally from Minnesota, and I've worked in the UCLA International Education Office for 9 years now in various roles. Our primary focus in the International Education Office is to support students with study abroad. And as a travel study program coordinator, I coordinate our faculty-led study abroad programs, ranging housing, classroom space, health and safety plans, etc. And I also advise students on study abroad options, academics, finances, and other preparations. I personally studied abroad in Lithuania, volunteered abroad in South Africa, and worked abroad in China, all during or shortly after college.
That is awesome. Thank you very much, Angie. Karina, would you mind please introducing yourself, your title, as well as your professional and academic experience?
So sorry about that. Hello, everybody. My name is Karina Salazar, and I'm like Leanne mentioned, I am the Associate Director of Career Education and Engagement here at the Career Center. And I've been here at UCLA on campus for about 20 years now. I was a student, undergraduate student here, and then worked in academic advising and in different roles. So I'm very familiar with, with campus culture and students. And I've been here at the Career Center for about 9 to 10 months now. And I oversee our career education unit, so our career counselors, where we really aspire to help students sort of align their interests and their values and their skills with their future career goals. So thank you so much for having me here. I look forward to answering many of your questions I'm sure that you have.
Thank you very much, Karina. And lastly, Lola Engel, would you mind please introducing yourself to our virtual audience?
Of course. Hi, my name is Lola Engel, and I'm the Manager of Student Affairs for UCLA Summer Sessions. I graduated from UCLA in 2012 with my bachelor's degree in psychology, and I've been working in student affairs here in the Summer Sessions office for about 6 years now. I am also proud to say that I am a parent, but of a baby Bruin. I have a son who's 10 months old.
Congratulations. That is awesome. Thank you very much. All right. Well, why don't we get started? And the first question, we'll just, Angie, if you could answer it first. But the first question is, why do you believe it is valuable for a student to engage in academic and/or professional development during the summer months?
Absolutely. Summer is a great opportunity for students to get a head start or a leg up on their academic year and to build their resumes. So I think a lot of students find that they have fewer commitments in the summertime, so then they can really focus on whatever it is that they want to accomplish, whether that's taking a challenging course or engaging in an internship research or learning a foreign language. So it's a great opportunity to keep themselves sharp in the summer months and hopefully just make their academic years that much smoother and their resumes that much more competitive.
That sounds great, Angie. Karina, how about you? Why do you believe it's valuable for a student to engage in academic and or professional development during the summer months, please?
Sure, Leanne. Well, I mean, I think I want to echo what Angie mentioned. I mean, I do think summer is always a great time to really just maximize it, whether they're doing, like Angie said, an internship or volunteer work or a summer job. It's a really good time to develop valuable skills, soft skills, hard skills, which we'll go into more into detail a little bit later. Also, like in terms of internship opportunities, typically companies offer them more throughout the summer than they do during the year, although they're also offered then, but there's more of an opportunity and more options during the summer.
Thank you, Karina. Lola, how about you, please?
Of course. As one of the top universities in the nation, UCLA really does provide its students with an overwhelming number of opportunities. But students are only given 2 or 4 years to utilize those opportunities, and students need to be strategic and forward-thinking with how they spend their time while they're here at UCLA. I don't want any of our students to leave UCLA thinking, I could have done more with my time here while I was at UCLA. We want our students to leave saying, I did everything that I wanted to do while I was a student. And summer can help stretch those 2 or 4 years and give our students more time to do all the things that they need to prepare themselves for their career and their future. With summer sessions in particular, we have over 1,000 unique courses, and we have Summer Institute programs that students can utilize to really give them the full Bruin experience.
Thank you very much, everyone, for sharing your perspective on that. Well, I'll tell you, we've got a lot of submitted questions, and we're going to try and get through as many of them as we can. If there's any questions that we can't get to this evening, you will get a response followed up via email. So the first question here is for Angie. Angie, if you could please share about summer opportunities available to students through the International Education Office.
Yes, the International Education Office offers many study abroad opportunities in the summer. And just to clarify, by study abroad, I mean enrollment in academic courses for academic credit in locations all around the world. Students have over 75 study abroad programs to choose from in the summer. And I can say there is a study abroad program for everyone. Some of those study abroad programs may include opportunities such as research, internship, community service, and field studies. So if that's something that a student already knows that they want to do, and they also want to study abroad, they can potentially combine those 2 options in one. The general time of the study abroad programs is 3 to 12 weeks. So if you're looking for something shorter, you can do that. If you're looking for something a little bit longer, you can do that as well. And within our office, we offer 2 major types of study abroad programs. One is UCLA Summer Travel Study, and the other is University of California Education Abroad programs, UCAP. So I can just briefly explain what each of those is. The important thing is to know that they're both study abroad. They're just different types of models. So with UCLA Summer Travel Study, these are actually study abroad programs that are developed and operated by UCLA. And these travel study programs are actually led by UCLA faculty who are on site with the students abroad, and they lead the academic course instruction. Now, the second type, UCAP, these are study abroad programs developed by the University of California system-wide, so generally University of California. And typically, these study abroad programs are in partnership with other universities around the world. So students are taking courses led by other university professors and have local support services there.
That's great. Thank you. Well, we do have a question from Ton E. And Ton is asking, what are the advantages of doing the UCLA program to study abroad versus one that is independent at UCLA?
Yeah, that's a great question that we get often, actually. So there are certainly some advantages to, participating in a UC study abroad program rather than something that's independent. I'd say those 3 primary advantages are financial aid, academic credit, and having the support of the UC network. So a UC study abroad program is eligible for financial aid, while an independent study abroad program is not, unfortunately. And then with academic credit, students actually earn UC academic credit on these UC study abroad programs. It's not transfer credit, whereas if they were on an independent study abroad program, students would need to petition to potentially receive transfer credit. So that is a very distinct and important difference. And then finally, if students are studying on a study abroad program through our office, they just have that much more support because we are familiar with those programs. We can advise students on those programs. If they are on an independent program, it is much more of an independent process.
That's very helpful. Thank you so much. Karina, here's a question for you, please. How can students enhance their career development over the summer through the Career Center?
That's a great question, Leanne. Well, during the academic year, we offer a number of different programming events. We also offer a number of fairs, and there's a high demand for counseling appointments. During the summer, we don't offer many of those programming events or fairs, but we do have counseling services, which I think it's a great resource for students, particularly because career counselors can assist students in again, really sort of aligning their interests with their future career goals. We can help students align their internship search, again, with career goals and do targeted searches, application and interviewing strategies by industry. We can help to develop the resumes, the cover letters. In a lot of cases, students also opt to take one of our personal assessment tests, and which is something that that we can also do. But more importantly, I think that the information piece, well, that's the preparation piece, but also learning about these opportunities throughout, again, for the upcoming year, and in terms of internship opportunities and that kind of stuff. Fall quarter tends to be sort of the peak time when that happens. And so if students are proactive and do a lot of engage in the career education process in the summer, for instance, then they'll be ready. Again, they'll have the information, they'll be prepared and make themselves more competitive for some of these job opportunities or internships in the fall.
That sounds great, Karina. Thank you very much. I have a follow-up question, please, from Carolyn C. She would like to know how the Career Center helps with job placement after graduation, please.
That's a really good question that I think that we get often. And what I want to say, just to parents, that the Career Center, really our goal is to equip students with the knowledge and the tools and the resources to take control over their career management. We provide advisement throughout this whole entire process. So it's not like, they come and meet with us and we engage in this process, if you will, and then we leave them alone. I mean, we're part of this whole process, even until graduation. And so just being engaged in this process with students, we feel that we really sort of help make them competitive for, again, for job opportunities. So it's not so much that a Career Center does placement, but we do all of the sort of the behind the scenes preparation process to make sure that they're competitive for jobs.
And very important to have those skill sets. So that's awesome that you all offer that. Thank you, Karina. Lola, I have a question for you, please. Please share the summer session structure and how students can go about enrolling and deciding if taking summer session courses is right for them.
Of course. Summer sessions is divided into 3 sessions. We have session A, B, and C. Session A and C are our standard academic offerings. These are the same courses that UCLA students will be taking during the standard academic year. The majority of Session A courses are 6 weeks in length, but we do have a few exceptions that are 8 to 10 weeks, and these tend to be our foreign language courses, engineering courses, and some computer science courses. All Session C courses are 6 weeks. Enrollment is already started for this summer and can be done on My UCLA. Now, Session B is for our specialized summer offerings, which include Summer Institutes and Summer Travel Study. Enrollment in Summer Institutes is going to take place on our website, which is summer.ucla.edu. And my colleague Angie could give you a little bit more information on how to register and apply for summer travel study offerings. Students are always welcome to meet with their college counselors or someone in our office here at Summer Sessions if they have questions about what summer offering is perfect for them or what courses would be advantageous for them. We actually really highly recommend that students utilize the staff resources here at UCLA to really plan their 4 or 2 years here at UCLA.
That's excellent. Thank you. There is a follow-up question, if you don't mind. Several people, KH and Veronica and Jung and Jocelyn, had asked about summer housing on campus for summer sessions and internships. So, for example, availability, the application process, fees, dates, and deadlines. Can you comment on that?
Of course, of course. For housing, any student who is participating in academic courses or one of our summer institutes is eligible to apply for housing through the UCLA Housing Services Office. The Housing Services Office also has some alternative housing offerings, which includes a summer hostel for students who might not be doing an internship during the normal 6-week academic course window. Maybe they need housing for a shorter window or a longer period of time. They can consider this hostel option as well. If students do not want to live in the residential halls or dorms during the summer, they also have the option of applying for university apartments. And they can also look for subletting options on their own through the UCLA CHO, which is Community Housing Office website.
That's great. Thank you so much. All right, moving on. Angie, I have a question for you, please. Studying abroad is an experience many students want, but aren't sure they can afford. What financial support is available for students for these programs? I know you touched on it, but if you can expand on it just a little bit more.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you asked this question because finances are typically the biggest concern for students and their families. So let me start by just saying that there is actually a very wide range of costs for study abroad. The cost can vary by program length, the location, the number of course units, and what's included. So certainly there are programs that are very expensive. You're going to find those. But then there are also programs that are very moderately priced. So I'd say the key for students is to choose the right program for their goals, academically, professionally, personally, and financially. So, there is going to be some financial investment, but hopefully that investment will be well worth it because their study abroad is aligning with their goals. But yes, financial support is available. So students who are eligible to receive financial aid, whether that's grants, loans, or scholarships, can apply that to their study abroad through UCLA, whether that's UCLA Summer Travel Study or UCAP. And there are many scholarships out there that are specifically for study abroad. So UCLA offers scholarships. Some of our departments offer scholarships. There's also external scholarships available specifically for study abroad. Some of those scholarships are need-based. A couple examples are the Gilman Scholarship and a Middle Income Scholarship. And other scholarships are merit-based, such as our Travel Study Scholarship and our UCAP Promise Award. And I encourage students to apply for those, absolutely.
Sounds like there's really a lot of opportunity, and so if people do the research, they can perhaps find some potential answers to their financial needs. Thank you. Karina, I have a question for you. How widespread are job and internship opportunities through the Career Center? And are they only local to UCLA, or are they across the globe?
So they're mostly local. However, we do have different tools, different platforms that students can use to find opportunities both abroad and nationally. For example, UCLA students have access to a platform called Going Global, where they can find both internship opportunities or job opportunities abroad and also at the national level. We also have another sort of platform that they can use, which UCLA students have access to, which is called Vault, and they also find not just information on job opportunities or internship opportunities, but also there's a plethora of information on specific industries and companies, like a culture in a company, just a complete sort of demographics of a company. And so a lot of information that's through Vault. We have also created internally what we call the opportunity list, which focuses on internships, and those internships are also local or at the national level. And furthermore, we have, I mentioned before that we have a number of information sessions and fairs throughout the academic year. And a lot of those employers are also coming to UCLA, specifically seeking UCLA students, and they come from all over the nation. And so there's different opportunities abroad and then out of state, although, again, sort of the main focus is local.
Karina, that's awesome. So you've mentioned so many resources. And so if, just for our audience, in case they want to write it down, so if you can mention Vault and some of the other ones, please.
Yeah, so that's Vault, that's VAULT, and that's all of these resources that I mentioned are available through Bruin View. So I should have mentioned before, so UCLA students have access to create an account via what we call Bruin View, which is a sort of a communication system, which is how students sign up for appointments with us, sign up for fairs. They upload their resume, and there's a number of functions through Bruin View. However, and this is extremely important, we are actually transitioning to a different platform called Handshake, and that's going to be happening in mid-May. So right now with Bruin View, students do have to create an account. They have access to, I mentioned, Vault, going global in the opportunity list. Once we transition to Handshake, they'll continue to have access to similar resources. The only difference, which I think it's great, is that Handshake is really, Bruin, let me go back a little bit. Bruin View, a student has to be a little bit more actively involved, right? So it's kind of geared towards students who have a sort of a clear understanding of their career goals, and because they have to sort of proactively seek these opportunities. With Handshake, all students are automatically in Handshake, and based on the profile that you build in your career interest, industry, and in your interest in specific careers, we'll be able to send you a lot of information, and employers will have access to send you information. So we're very excited about it. And again, that's happening mid-May, and that's called Handshake. But the resources that I mentioned will be accessible through Handshake.
Thank you. That's very exciting. A lot of, again, resources and more to come. So thanks for that update. Lola, let's have a question for you, please. Is there a difference in academic rigor during the summer session, and what can students expect?
There really isn't a difference in the rigor during the summer. Each summer offering, although it's condensed, will cover the same curriculum and course material as the academic year counterpart. The rigor and intensity will be identical as well. To kind of compensate for this condensed format of summer classes, full-time study is reduced from 12 units to 8 units, meaning what a UCLA student would normally take during the academic year in terms of like 12 units is very comparable to 8 units during the summer. And that's why we recommend that students take maybe no more than 8, no more than 12 units per summer session.
Thank you. That clears things up there. Angie, I have a question for you. What is the application and admissions process like for most UCLA study abroad programs?
Sure. The application process is actually going to vary depending on the type of study abroad program that you're applying to. So for UCLA Summer Travel Study, the admission is actually open to anyone over the age of 18 with a high school diploma. So parents and families listening today, you may be eligible as well. And we have had parents and family join these programs. With UCLA Summer Travel Study, there are no GPA requirements. So students who want to register for Summer Travel Study will simply complete an online registration form and submit a deposit payment to secure your space. For the UCAP programs, the process is a little more strenuous. Admission is open to currently enrolled UC students, and there are going to be various GPA requirements depending on the partner university. And there are actually two applications, typically one for UCAP and then one for the partner university abroad. And now the commonality for all study abroad applications would be that space is limited and students should apply early. So oftentimes students will think about study abroad later on, but what they don't realize is that you typically need to apply about 6 to 10 months in advance of when you actually want to study abroad. So please apply early.
Thank you for that plug. Angie, I do have a question from Helen J., and she's asking, study abroad in summer between sophomore and junior. How can my student ensure she's able to do that as she is catering her time for freshman and sophomore class schedule in hopes of doing this?
Yeah, well, I will just say that it's wonderful that your student is already trying to create a plan and target a certain term. That is absolutely my advice, to map out your years at UCLA, whether you're first year now and you can map out the full 4 years, or maybe you're already in progress, to just map out whatever you have remaining and to, plug in what classes you want to take each term, and to meet with your academic advisors, because there are some courses that must be taken at UCLA on campus and in a certain consecutive order. And so students need to make sure that they address those courses in the right time so that they can study abroad. And then the other point I would reiterate, I guess, is to do your research in advance. Try to identify a program that you're interested in. Come make an appointment to speak with advisors in our office. And we can walk you through all those steps, because oftentimes students don't realize all the steps involved. And in order to target that certain term, there may be certain things they should be doing now, such as applying for a passport, identifying that program, etc. So all these things are great preparation, but being very aware of the deadlines is important as well.
Thank you. And Auntie, if you could just clarify, Tanya G is saying, can a student register for study abroad after winter quarter once their GPA has improved to the required 2.89? But I thought you had mentioned something before about the GPA, so I just want to get some clarity on that.
Yeah, if this parent or family member is asking about applying after winter quarter, I'm assuming that they are, and if they're asking about a GPA, I'm assuming the student is applying for a UCAP program, because UCAP programs do have GPA requirements. And if they are applying for a summer program, typically those deadlines for UCAP would have been during winter quarter. So oftentimes our deadlines will have passed for summer UCAP programs before the end of winter quarter. However, I encourage that student to reach out to our office. In some cases, there might be a chance. It would be an exception, but there may be a chance. So I hope that everything went well with their finals. I know it's finals week right now. And always, again, feel free to reach out to our office, and maybe there is a chance still.
Thank you very much, Angie. All right, Karina, moving on. I've got a question for you, please. When should students begin looking into summer job and internship opportunities, and how can the Career Center help? I know you've touched on this quite a bit.
Yes, so great question, Leanne. So first of all, if we're talking about like in terms of class level, right? So I'll start with freshmen. So freshmen really should focus their first quarter on their transition, the making sure that they're, again, adjusting to the academic rigors of the university and that kind of stuff. And if they're interested in doing an internship over the summer or job opportunity, they should start winter quarter. That would be a good time for them to begin to do that. Although a lot of the internships are geared towards upperclassmen, even if for instance, a first-year student can get a volunteer opportunity or a part-time job, it's a great time to really sort of develop their, what I had mentioned, some of the soft skills that employers have really referenced as being sort of a top priority when they're looking for both interns and also offering job opportunities. In terms of the academic year, fall quarter, as I mentioned before, is sort of the time, again, generally when employers are recruiting. It also, and I'll go into this a little bit deeper later, but it also depends on the industry. But again, fall quarter tends to be generally a peak time for recruitment for summer and job opportunities. And then as far as how the Career Center can help, I mean, there's different ways. So I mentioned Bruin View. So again, students, just as a reminder, students can find job and internship opportunities through Bruin View, which again will become Handshake in a couple of months. Our career fairs, students attending our career fairs. Again, we have hundreds of employers each year attend our career fairs. Again, specifically targeting UCLA students, our information sessions, that we offer a number of networking events through the career education unit and also just the career center. During the summer and throughout the year, we also offer job treks where we go visit, specific companies, a lot of times focused on very specific industries. A great resource that we also encourage our students to use is a platform through our alumni association called UCLA One. And the way you can use that is really by connecting with alumni. Again, there may be some job or internship opportunities, but even if that's not an option, also it's a great way to do informational interviews. And so again, we encourage our students to really use UCLA One. And so those are just some of the ways that the Career Center can assist in this process.
That's quite a bit. Thank you, Karina. As a follow-up question, Gloria B and KH are asking, are there paid internship opportunities?
I'm sorry, can you please repeat the question?
Sure. Are there paid internship opportunities?
Yes, there are a number of paid and unpaid internship opportunities. So that's, that's not a problem. We also talk to our students about sort of if they get an offer, if there's an offer for an unpaid opportunity, the benefits of doing, volunteer work or that kind of job, even if they're not getting paid. Regardless, it's, there's a lot of, again, valuable skills that students can develop and also job experience. But yes, there are a number of paid opportunities.
Thank you. And just one follow-up question from Kamiko A. Where do students go to get writing help for a resume? And is there a service to have someone format and proofread the resume for students on campus?
That's us. That's us again. So we do this through different avenues. Again, students can come to the Career Center. We have what we call drop-in hours, and those are specific days during the week. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And that's really the purpose of them, is for students to come in so we can review their resume, we can review their cover letters, we can work on their elevator pitch. This academic year, we also implemented what we call career engagement pop-ups. And so we have identified key locations throughout campus where we have a career engagement educator, also known as a career counselor, and a graduate intern. And there are specific locations on Mondays from 12 to 2. And again, that's one of the core functions. We're also in engineering. We're also up on the Hill. We're also in athletics. So again, we're trying to be really intentional about offering, about doing some of this, what we call baseline work, and offering students this service. And then also, like I mentioned, our career fairs. We very often either right at the career fair or even the day before, we offer resume reviews. We've had events where we have employers actually reviewing the resumes, and so a lot of times that's also a way for them to recruit students. And then we have career counselors at the career fair reviewing resumes, again, cover letters, working on elevator pitch. And then we've also, just lastly, we have what we call our career peers, who we have trained extensively to assist students in this particular with this particular request. So yes, many services specifically to make sure that we are making Bruins competitive in that way.
That's excellent. Thank you very much for all of that background. Lola, I have a question for you. What are some common reasons students choose to take courses over summer instead of during the traditional academic year?
That is an excellent question. The great thing about summer is that it is very versatile. Students from all different academic backgrounds and pursuits can get drastically different advantages by utilizing some of our summer offerings. We see highly overachieving students enroll in summer as a way to lighten their load during their academic year so that they can focus on some of their extracurricular activities or internship opportunities. We see students preparing to apply for very competitive graduate degree programs use summer as a way to focus on the more challenging courses without having other distractions in the way. We see students enroll in some of our summer language intensives, which allow them to complete the year-long foreign language requirement in just one summer. We also see fiscally smart out-of-state students save money by enrolling in summer because summer is the only term that we do not charge any sort of out-of-state supplemental tuition. We see career-driven students enroll in our Summer Institute programs and gain very meaningful real-world experience and networking opportunities. The list is super long and very varied, but one thing that really rings true with all of our summer offerings is that summer can really help our students get to where they want to go. These are all bright, ambitious students who are taking advantage of UCLA summer sessions, and they are really preparing for their future by using summer to get them ahead of everyone else.
That's excellent. Being an out-of-state parent, it really is important as far as saving. You know, like you said, they don't pay those out-of-state supplemental fees. My daughter is doing summer session A this summer, so that's a great plus as well. Well, thank you so much, Lola. Angie, I have a question for you. Do all study abroad courses translate to academic credit at UCLA?
Yeah, that's a great question. I touched upon it just a little bit earlier, so I want to expand upon that. Oftentimes, people will think that study abroad is just an extra fun thing to do and that it won't count towards anything and that it will delay their graduation. So certainly it is a fun thing to do, but it is a myth that it doesn't count towards anything and that it will delay graduation. Students do earn academic credit for the courses that they take on UCLA Summer Travel Study and UCAP Study Abroad programs. And with the UCLA Summer Travel Study programs, students are actually taking UCLA classes taught by UCLA professors. They're just in really cool destinations abroad. So the academic credit is posted to their UCLA transcript as if they took the classes at UCLA. There's no indication that the classes were taken anywhere else in UCLA, and there's absolutely no petition process required with UCLA Summer Travel Study courses. So that is one major benefit of UCLA Summer Travel Study programs, that it's very seamless. It's very integrated into the UCLA curriculum. It is the UCLA curriculum. Now with UCAP programs, students are taking courses at partner universities abroad. So the academic credit is posted to their UCLA transcripts. And there is a notation that the coursework was taken on UCAP. UCAP courses do automatically count as UC credit. Students will receive unit credit and grade credit at UCLA. So we'll factor into their overall UC units, their unit count, as well as their UC GPA. Now, students do have to take one additional step to petition with their academic advisors, and that is if they want to receive specific course credit. So if there is a specific GE requirement that they need to fulfill, or a specific major or minor requirement that they need to fulfill, students would bring a petition form to their academic advisor, provide them with the syllabus, and the academic advisor will advise them and hopefully approve that course. So we recommend that students on UCAP programs consult with their academic advisors in advance of selecting a program so that they know, that these courses will count towards what they want them to. They will count as units and grades guaranteed for UCAP, but specific course requirements must be approved through a petition process. So the nice thing with these two options, UCLA Summer Travel Study and UCAP programs, it is not transfer credit. It is actually UC credit, and it will post to their UCLA transcript. And I can assure you that many students do study abroad for full years, even multiple study abroad programs, and they do graduate on time, or even actually early.
That's great. Thank you for that update, Angie. Karina, moving to you, please. When do students typically do the summer internship, and do you have any advice on how they can choose the best opportunity for their goals?
So it really varies by industry. You know, for instance, students interested in investment banking, you know, just as an example. Recruitment, you know, I mentioned before that recruitment typically by employers begins or happens in the fall, right? For investment banking, it's much earlier. For instance, you know, students are being recruited or interviewed to be able to offer an opportunity. They're being recruited or interviewed in their sophomore year, about winter quarter, spring quarter of their sophomore year, in order to do an internship, specifically in investment banking, the summer after their junior year. So, I mean, recruitment for that particular industry is happening, you know, almost a year and a half in advance, right? And so someone interested specifically in that industry, in that field, would have to have done, you know, have started doing internships since their very first summer, you know, after their freshman year. But again, you know, typically, you know, students will do them after their junior year. That's a critical time for them because then they will hopefully get the experience with the company, develop some hard skills, and then hopefully, as a result of that, be offered a job after they graduate, so after their senior year.
Okay, that's very good to know. I have a question from Stephanie C. Karina. She's asking, are there any great suggestions you can give for students finishing their first year, or would just a regular retail job be the best option?
You know, I think, you know, I think I've mentioned this a few times, it's never too ready to start, you know, exploring your opportunities. So even though a retail job, for instance, may not seem as important, you know, to a parent. I mean, I'm a parent myself, right? But it's actually, you know, it's really the skills that you're developing, you know, through the opportunity, you know, which is again, you know, as a career counselor, that's really an area that we're helping students sort of identify and be able to articulate on a resume. So, for instance, we have students who are first years who have never had a job before, which is fine, right? So then you have to take any opportunity that you can, again, whether it's a retail job or any sort of job opportunity or a volunteer opportunity to start building that resume, right? And so as far as advice for a first year student, again, you know, early engagement in the Career Center, right, with us to make sure that you're able to explore all your options, and that we're able to guide you and to lead you to the appropriate resources to make that happen.
Thank you. That's helpful. Lola, I do have a question for you, please. And what is the difference between taking academic courses and participating in a summer institute?
Thanks for asking that question. Academic courses are just the regular classes that UCLA students take during the regular academic year, fall, winter, and spring. We just offer them in the summer, as I mentioned before, in a slightly more condensed format. Our summer institute programs, however, differ from our standard academic course offerings in that it offers students a different approach on learning and engaging with the covered material. Instead of a traditional lecture style format, summer institutes tend to be more hands-on and have a stronger focus on real-world implications of the learned material. Additionally, participants will have the opportunity to not only engage with leading industry professionals, but also do so in a more intimate, smaller setting. Some examples of programs that we have is we have the MEMS program, which is offered through the UCLA Anderson School of Management. We have the Technology Leadership Summer Institute, which is focused or which is geared more towards students who are looking to have high-level management positions within the tech industry. We have our City Lab Summer Institute. We have our Film and Television Summer Institute. We have an Architecture Institute, which is a program that is to help students who are interested in doing a graduate level program in architecture get a little bit of a taste of what that would be like. So those are some examples of the Summer Institute programs that we have to offer to our UCLA students.
Well, that is awesome. I feel like I want to go back to college now and take some of these Summer Institute sessions. I have a follow-up question, please. It's coming in from Panir S. And Panir is asking, can the students take courses in other UCs during summer and get the credit towards their requirement for graduation?
Yes, students can take summer classes at other UC campuses. The one thing that I would like to highlight about taking summer courses at other UCs is that you will always get the units. If you were to take a summer class at UC Irvine, for example, for 4 units, those 4 units will automatically transfer to your UCLA transcript, and those units will be counted towards your graduation. But what I really want to highlight is that some courses that are offered at UCLA, there is no equivalent at another UC campus, or vice versa. And also, the UC campuses do not number their classes the same way. So, for example, what we would call Chemistry 101 might be called Chemistry 10 at UC Santa Barbara. So it's very important before you sign up for classes at another UC campus that you meet with an academic counselor and show them what classes you want to take at the other UC campus, and they can tell you how that course will transfer to UCLA and whether or not that UC course at another UC campus will satisfy whatever graduation requirement you're trying to complete during the summer term. The last thing that I want to let students know and parents know about taking classes at other UC campuses, you will not register and enroll through UCLA summer sessions. You will actually register directly with the UC campus that you would like to attend, and you can reach out to them in their summer sessions office, and they can give you more information about what the fees would be like for attending another UC campus, as well as what the registration process would be.
That's great. Thank you for that information. Very helpful, Lola. So I've got a question that I'm going to ask the same question to each of you. So Angie, if you might start it, please. And the question is, do your offices and programs work together on any of these opportunities?
Yes, we do collaborate. The Summer Sessions and International Education Office are actually a joint office. Our units are located directly across the hall from each other, and we do have some shared staff and resources. The travel study, UCLA summer travel study programs that I was talking about are shared between Summer Sessions and International Education Office. Also, there are a number of students who choose to participate in UCLA summer sessions here on campus, in addition to a study abroad program in the summer. So we may be coordinating to ensure that the dates of those 2 opportunities do not overlap. We may be referring students to one another for advising. And then with the Career Center, definitely the International Education Office and Career Center have some joint efforts. We both, of course, highlight international internship opportunities and emphasize resume building and professional development opportunities. Occasionally, we will have joint events. Certainly, study abroad does enhance a student's resume, and we want to help students with kind of identifying those valuable life and professional skills that they gain, kind of naming those. So we've had Career Center staff come in and, really name those skills such as adaptability, problem solving, financial planning, networking in their industry, self-confidence, that cultural competence, and just gaining that greater understanding of other places and people groups. So there is certainly some overlap and cooperation that we have.
That's great. Karina or Lola, do you have anything to add to Angie's response before I ask the next question?
No, I mean, I guess, one of the events that we did this past year with Study Abroad was helping students who have studied abroad, helping them identify the skills that they've learned studying abroad, right? And translate them into transferable skills. For instance, I mean, the fact that you go to a foreign country, right? And just adaptability, communication, being resourceful, et cetera, et cetera. So we definitely collaborate with these offices, but also with a number of offices throughout campus, like Alumni Affairs. I mentioned Partnership UCLA, Academic Partners, and a number of other folks across campus. So we are very collaborative here at UCLA.
What I would add is that UCLA Summer Sessions tries whenever possible to work in partnership with other departments on campus. And one way that we do this is with our annual Summer Opportunities Fair. We have representatives from both the Career Center and the International Education Office attend this fair every year. We already had the fair for 2018, but I do want to let parents know that we normally have this fair in February and March. And not only can they meet with someone from our office, from Study Abroad, from the Career Center, but we also have people who attend from the Volunteer Center, from Startup UCLA, from the Undergraduate Research Center, and we have individual departments such as chemistry and economics and engineering attend the fair as well. So keep an eye out for that next February or March.
Thank you for those reminders. That's great. All right, so here's another question. And actually, you know, spring break is just around the corner. Mm-hmm. And this parent, Alfie, is wondering the best way to raise this question or issue with the student over spring break. And the question is, with so many summer options to choose from, what advice would you give parents trying to support their student in making strategic decisions regarding their summer plans? Angie, we'll start with you, please.
Sure. I really appreciate this parent or family member who's asking this question. I would encourage you to start by congratulating your student by completing winter quarter, because students are often pretty exhausted after their finals week with all the exams and papers. So really just, you know, take a moment to celebrate with them what they have accomplished this far this year. And then I would maybe just mention that you recently attended this webinar on UCLA summer opportunities, and, you know, that you heard about some really great options. So, you know, has your student thought about what they want to do this summer? And if they have, great. I think it's wonderful to kind of hear what they're thinking about. They may have questions in their mind and really just want to talk through it with you, where they may be really looking for your support and affirmation. A lot of students I know wrestle with you know, the decision-making process and kind of questioning themselves. So maybe encourage them to create a pros and cons list so they can really see what it is they're considering, and get all of those ideas out of their head and into, you know, concrete, you know, ideas in writing. So I think anything you can do to just talk through it with them, help them reason through it, is very helpful.
Thank you, Angie. Karina, Lola, do you have anything else to add to that, please?
Sure. I mean, I would just add, you know, to connect with the Career Center. I think a lot of times, you know, I mean, I speak from experience back when I was a student many moons ago. A lot of times you don't know what you don't know. And sometimes that's, you know, there's a fear of you don't know what to ask. And that's okay. You know, we at the Career Center want to normalize, you know, that kind of, you know, stage in your life, right? And so just, you know, I want to encourage students to encourage parents and family members to encourage their student to connect with us, because it's so important for them to make intentional decisions. And the earlier you start to do that, the more opportunities you're going to have, not just throughout your academic journey here, but also post-graduation.
That's some good counsel there. Very good. Thank you, Karina. And Lola, please, do you have any comments?
Yes. What I will say is that being an undergrad is a really good opportunity for students to do some trial and error. They have so many options for what they want to do when they grow up and they graduate, and summer is a great opportunity to try something out. Say your son or daughter or family member is thinking about working in the film industry, and they've never done anything in the film industry before. Well, being a student is the perfect opportunity to try it out. And that's what I would focus on when I'm having these conversations with your family is, you know, what is it that you're a little bit interested in doing? And is there some way that we can give you a sample of what that would be like? And that would really help you make a good decision when you graduate from UCLA.
Very good. Thank you very much for sharing that, Lola. All right. We do have a question that just came in from Veronica D. Veronica is asking, how are joint events between your offices announced to students? So I guess I'll start with you, Lola. Why don't you try to take this one first?
Of course. We use a lot of our marketing team to announce to students what kind of events or fairs we are going to be attending. One thing that we do utilize is My UCLA. Students might not notice this, but when they're on the My UCLA there's actually a list of upcoming events and opportunities on the right-hand side of the page. So I would definitely recommend that students check that out. Also, my department and other departments around campus are often emailing students different opportunities or making announcements to students. And I would really encourage you to let your student know that it's really important to read everything that they're emailed. They will never know if something really important or something that they will love to do is in that email.
Thank you. And Karina, do you have anything you want to add, or Angie?
I mean, we do a lot of, we promote a lot of our events via Bruin, but again, we will be moving a handshake, and that's going to be, I think it's going to reach a wider audience, because as I mentioned before, students who use, in order for them to use Bruin View, they have to create an account. With handshake, it'll be an automatic membership. So we will definitely be using handshake as a platform really to inform students about our events. And, in addition to, using our academic partners in different platforms throughout campus, but Handshake will be the main sort of avenue to get this information out.
Very good. And the timing of when that will be available is?
Will be in mid-May.
Mid-May, thank you.
We'll start
Angie?
Launching campaign soon.
Very good, thank you. And Angie, anything you wanted to add?
Just briefly, like Lola in summer sessions, the International Education Office does post many of our events through My UCLA, so students can learn about and RSVP for the events there. In addition, the International Education Office does have a calendar events page on our website, ieo.ucla.edu. So you can certainly check that out. We do send, campus-wide emails, target emails to students that we feel would be interested in specific events. But the main announcements would be through My UCLA and our website.
All right, thank you. And you know what? We've got one last question here, and then we're going to be wrapping up. So, Angie, if you could just give one key piece of information you feel a parent or family member should take away from this discussion, what would it be?
Yeah, I would just say that the support of your student really does mean so much to them. I think back to my time as a college student, and I myself was a first-generation college student who was really just trying to figure it all out as I went. And it can be intimidating, and you can fumble as you go. But, as a first-generation college student, my parents didn't necessarily have a lot of the experiences that I was trying to pursue myself. But what they did offer me always was encouragement, encouragement to explore my options and to push myself beyond my comfort zone, and probably their comfort zones too. So as a parent or family member, I would just encourage you to encourage your student to set goals and utilize resources. UCLA does have a number of resources. Encourage them to schedule that appointment. Advisors are standing by. Encourage them to apply for that scholarship. There is money to be had to enable them to do what they want to do. And then just to encourage them to go for it, study abroad, conduct summer research, explore that summer course that you've always kind of had an interest in, but you're not really sure. So go for it, and go for it early on. And really just emphasize for your student that the choices that they make early on can have an impact on, their future direction. And the earlier they start exploring these things, the earlier they're gonna figure it out.
Thank you. Lola, just real quick, some closing comments.
I'm just going to add on to what Angie said. We are here for students. We are here for their parents and their family members too. I personally love it when a student or a parent or a family member walks into my office and they just say hi. They introduce themselves. They tell us what year they are or what they're hoping to achieve. And we have an open dialogue about all of the potential opportunities that are available to them. So please, please encourage encourage your students to come and talk to us and build relationships with the UCLA staff members who are here. And also, you don't have to be shy either. We love it when family members come and ask questions too.
Thank you very much. And Karina, just anything that you'd like to add?
Just lastly, I want to stress, the fact that the career exploration process begins early. The earlier students begin this process, again, the more opportunities they will have to make themselves to develop their skills and really make themselves marketable for employment post graduation. So I just want to really, again, stress the fact this starts early. Please encourage them to utilize our services at the Career Center.
Thank you very much, Karina. Well, I just want to thank our panel. You all did a phenomenal job. I learned so much information tonight, and this information has been recorded. And so if you know of any other family members that wanted to see it or friends, the recorded version will be available very shortly. Your feedback is so important to the continued growth of this program. So we always encourage any honest and feedback that we can grow and improve upon. And also submit any topics of interest that you think you would like to hear about in the future. So please be sure to complete the follow-up survey, which you'll receive via email tomorrow. And finally, don't forget to join us for our next virtual discussion. It's called Careers After UCLA. This is the second in our two-part career and professional development series taking place on Monday, April 16th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. April 16th, please mark that down on your calendar. In addition to the wonderful knowledge shared tonight, the UCLA Alumni Association has a wealth of resources available for students and family members alike, from mentorship opportunities to UCLA One, an exclusive online professional network and community, to a variety of career prep events. There is so much for the Bruin community to tap into. We look forward to chatting with you about this next month. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you for your time.